Hello everyone, and thank you for coming back to yet another episode of The Gloving Paradigm. I am your host Peter, aka LPD Dubuque, and this week it's a very interesting week. Yes, I am wearing a different shirt. Yes, I am wearing a random hat. I am wearing random stuff because it is the holiday season, and what better way to send off the holiday season than with a very interesting episode. And in this episode is pretty much just going to be a little interview that I had with somebody who really starting to become a rising star in the community.
What? Oh.
And I actually had the wonderful opportunity to have a nice little interview with this person. So, the following footage you're going to be seeing is the interview that I have with this person. Yes, you only see my face, you do not see the other person's face. I do not require my guests to come onto my show to reveal their face. If they don't want to reveal their face, they don't have to reveal their face. I will respect that form of privacy. I just want to let you guys know, do not expect to see anything interesting on that end. I will try to make it look interesting, but we'll see how it goes.
Oh, thanks, man.
Other than that, the main reason why I wanted to bring this interview to you guys before the year ends is because if any one of you guys are thinking about getting something for any of your gloving friends or relatives, this might be something they might want. So you should probably check it out. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the interview, and then we'll get back here once it is over. Alrighty, so if you want to just go ahead and introduce yourself, that would probably be a good way to start on this.
Okay, so my name's Kurt. I am the founder of Glow LEDs, and I'm living in Austin, Texas right now.
Do you know what? It's so funny. I honestly thought you were up more north from there. I thought you were up in the Chicago area.
You know, I'm actually from Michigan, so I just moved to Austin back in the early teens, and been here kind of half and half ever since.
Okay, right on. Interesting. So
yeah, it's too cold up there.
What is your current occupation and your current involvement within the gloving community? I guess is what a lot of people probably want to know.
Yeah, totally. So, well, I couldn't find a job, so I started Glow LEDs as a way to, I don't know. It wasn't actually really meant to be my full-time job, but the pandemic hit, so I was already putting all my time into it anyway, so I might as well just continue doing that. And then everyone started liking everything. I'm like, whoa, okay, I'll keep doing this stuff. But yeah, that's what I'm currently doing. I'm just doing Glow LEDs full time.
So can you give people kind of an idea of what would you call Glow LEDs? What kind of company would you call it?
Oh wow, okay. So I would call Glow LEDs what I try to have it represent is a company that really listens to what the community has been wanting, needs, just kind of almost a direct communication, to what people are after, yeah, just, stuff like that.
Right on. Well, I'm sure a lot of people would want to know, what got you, when did you get into gloving and what got you into it? I'm going to take my wild guess and say stereotypical. I went to a rave, saw somebody gloving, got hooked on instantly, and ever since never stopped.
Actually, that's actually a really funny story because I actually started gloving before I've ever gone to a rave. One of my friends I met in Austin had a friend that used to rave all the time, and he gloved, and I just thought he was the best glover ever, and I thought it was so cool. And he's like, you should learn. I'm already so down to learn anything at this point, so I just spent my time working my job, but then just gloving, in between every task, doing my finger rolls and stuff. And then, eventually, after about 3 months of just just gloving with my fingers, I got actual gloves, which were the Easy Lights, I think 2.0s. And yeah, so I actually didn't even have gloves for the first 3 months of learning.
I was just going to say, how long did it take you to get your first pair of gloves?
yeah, totally. Which I actually really appreciated that I didn't get gloves right away. It felt like it made me focus more on the cleanliness of my moves than what it looks like in the gloves, kind of a thing. But it's just a thought.
Sorry, my pooch has been scratching on the door, so I was gonna let him in.
A few moments later.
Okay. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I get to have all the fun stuff cutting that in and out.
Yeah.
We're gonna enjoy seeing him moving around because literally everybody sees him in all the episodes, but he's always sleeping. Actually,
Oh. That's funny.
I don't remember which exact episode, but there's one of the episodes he's actually like coughing and stuff, and I actually make a comment on it. So
That's so
keep
funny.
an eye out for that, people.
5 minutes later.
Nice.
Yeah. So I find it very interesting. So would you consider yourself what people know as the bedroom glover, which are people who started in their bedroom, not at a rave?
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, wow, I've actually never heard of that before. But yeah, I think I would consider that. Like, I had this one other friend that was doing it at the same exact time as me, and we would just trade shows like back and forth, like not all day, but whenever we would get gloves on, we would like trade back and forth. That was really helpful. And like, I don't know, you just always like gloving, even now, of course, like I always think it's crazy when people like how people can stop, like it's like in my hands like all the time,
Yeah, I will certainly say from my experience, it definitely has gone into a compulsive habit where I can't really go a day without moving my hands around like that. And it's funny too because it's the best way I can describe it. It's like you need to do something like I don't want to say mindless, but something that I can do without actually having to think, and it allows me to think about other things. So like if I'm at work and I'm like walking from one point to another trying to like figure out what I need to do for work, I'm literally just sitting there practicing, just trying to think of what I need to do. And it's
totally.
just a way to occupy my hands for some reason. I don't know. I think it's like an obsessive compulsive thing.
Hey, I think it's out of all out of all those kind of things that are kind of repetitive like that I feel like it almost helps you think a little bit better. It almost like clears up like the noise. It's weird, right? Because you'd think it wouldn't, but like I feel like you can have those full on conversations. Like I'm loving right now, like talking to you, and like it's like it almost like makes it takes the work out of my hands to think about what they're doing. They're just like going through their positions in my gloving schema and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's funny too because like even like my younger brother who I gotten into gloving, like I think a year and a half after I got into it, or 2 years after I got into it. He's at the same point as well, where he just as he's walking from point A to point B at work, and he's at it as well. And that's the funny thing is I always tell people, it's like if you're at work and you're just moving from point A to point B, I was like, there's your point of where you can be practicing. And they're like, I can't be sitting there thinking about that. I'm like, you don't think about what you're doing. Your hands just do it. Just let your hands do it.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's that's what it's like the best thing to tell people, because it is like the only thing, like, well, dance specifically, but really anything that you can kind of constantly be doing all day long. Like I can't think of anything else, like other than maybe singing, but your voice would totally get fried.
Yeah. It's just one of the things I would certainly say. There's cardistry, things like that. Anything that's like handheld is pretty much where you want to be at. Can't remember what the beats are called exactly. I'll probably have the name written up here. But there's a couple little habit things that I have, like yo-yos. Yo-yos was like a huge thing in elementary school. Like I was really huge into that.
Much later.
So yeah, no, I think that's where kind of like what happened when it came to me in gloving. I'm the stereotypical, I went to a rave, saw somebody give a light show, and then got a light show from that person, and then fell in love with it instantaneously. And within 2 weeks, I went and cobbled together an iNova set from like Fry's Electronics, and
Nice.
I immediately already were buying like bulbs that like matched up with the bulbs that were in the iNovas to like change it from like yellow and white, without realizing there was yellow or there was white iNovas and green iNovas that I could have used.
Yeah, already modding.
Yes, I was already like modding before modding was his thing. It's kind of hilarious to think about it. But all I was doing is just taking out the bulbs and changing out the bulbs. So, like thinking it that way is kind of funny.
I know that's super cool. Like I was just really brought up to speed with the whole like iNova like lifestyle, like the beginning of it, like just starting this company. Like there's so many impactors that have come to me with like ideas, and like I've just like heard the whole history, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like these like the original iNovas like are so crazy. Like I can't believe like they like the company doesn't make the originals anymore, and then like they just make these other ones that aren't the same, and everyone's like, why? And yeah, I don't know. It's like so crazy.
So I don't like doing the whole tinfoil hat thing, but I'm going to do it here. They found out that their intended purpose was not being used for their intended purpose, because if I remember correctly, they actually had a contract with the military, and when they realized that they were being sold as hotcakes, because of the gloving community really starting to buy them up like crazy, they decided they were going to change them to not let them be used in that fashion. But little do they know that the gloving community figure out how to modify their new sets and make them be rebooted. Like they rebooted like emissives again. So it's just
that's crazy.
It's actually kind of funny that a lot of people don't really understand that there is a massive underground like secondary market when it comes to gloving, and it's just with the manufacturing of lights. So. Yeah,
totally, dude. I like just found out about that. Like I've been a programmable like dude the whole time. Like and then like before that I just found out like, oh yeah, people are using these bulb chips like now, and I'm like, wait, I just don't really understand why. Like why wouldn't you want to program them? But I totally see the appeal now. Like it's super interesting and like really cool. I can't wait to like get into making things like that one day.
Well, it's kind of funny. It kind of brings up to the segue of like, how did you came up with the cap diffusers and the glow skins in general? It's all about the personalization, and that's where I feel like you are fulfilling it's not even a niche, it is actually a need, because that's, people don't understand when it comes to the gloving community, people really want to stand out above everybody else, right? And
yeah, totally.
Your skill set can only go so far, right? Especially early on when you are just starting to get into it and starting to learn the basics and stuff like that. I totally get it. But what makes me stand out, or what I remember a lot of people talking about to me about what made me stand out about every other glover, was how I had my glove sets actually configured, how I actually had different diffusers that people were using, and actually like customize my own diffusers to work for me and stuff like that, and that's what people remember my shows for. It's not as much as like, yeah, my moves are great and stuff, as they say. But what people talk about the most when it came to my shows, at least, is just like, dude, did you see that guy's glove set? That thing was amazing. Like, did you see the colors that are on that thing? Like, dude, I asked him how he configured this stuff, and he written it down for me. Like, that's the stuff that a lot of people remember for me, and that's what I like about gloving, is that's how people remember me. It's like, people don't remember me because it's like, oh, he's super skilled. It's like, oh no, he's so creative because he really personalized his own glove sets, and he really worked hard on making them his to stand out.
3 days later.
That's why I like my cube diffusers so much. It's because cube diffusers are amazing, and I like that I drew X's on mine because it makes them stand out.
Yeah, no, totally, dude. I totally agree. It's like a whole other aspect. Like, yeah, your moves can be super fresh, but like you can also like mess up their faces like even harder by having crazy light set, crazy diffusers, like it's just a whole other piece of the pie that you can mess people up with.
Definitely. And well, when you look at like modded chips, you see the Ditto mods, or the rabbit mods, I think is the other term. Just adding an additional little diode right there into the Lightshow, like, it adds a whole completely different layer to it all. to the whole ambiance and the aesthetic. But I do have to ask, because I know everyone wants to know, like, how did you come up with glow skins? Like, what brought you to this point? Because when Joe talked to me about the glow skins and explained to me like how they were going to be, I was just like, holy crap! Like, somebody's actually doing a third party casing setup. Which to me, at doing this for over 10 years now, it's just like, why hasn't somebody done this sooner?
Right. Yeah, I guess like so what really started the whole glow skins thing was my friend named Gian, super great glover. He came to me. He actually just called me at like 10 o'clock at night one night. That was the first time I met him too. He's like, dude, I have this really great idea, and I'm like, okay, dude, like let me hear it.
I love
and
friends who do that.
like, I know. Yeah, it was so funny. It's like, yeah, it was really great. And so he explained to me the how people have been using the orbit skins, like where they don't actually stick their light through the hole, and they just which then creates like makes the whole casing glow. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yes.
People use it like that. Okay, so yeah, like he explained that to me, and I'm like, okay, dude, like I'll try. Like I didn't even know how to use flexible material like with my manufacturing process. And so I'm like, okay, dude, I'll see. And then like I like kind of got some. I don't know. I was still focusing on diffuser caps and just being a company. Like it was still so early at that point too. It felt like it wasn't even around that long. And yeah, then slowly like kind of got it going. And then I'm like, oh, I need to make more than one different version too, because I don't want to like, especially only people that have had like coin size and like coffin size that chips have been able to have that effect. So I'm like, I want to make nano ones too, and I just came out with the Apollo ones also. So I'm like, I want like everyone to be able to have this cool effect. And yeah, I guess that's what really sprung the idea and concept.
Right on. So it's kind of funny too, because when Joe gave me a small little preview and kind of like showed me on camera, the first thing that went through my head was like, holy crap, somebody figured out how to do the E dot. Again, like, I don't know if you actually seen how the E dots were back in the day.
Oh no, I don't know what you're talking about actually.
Okay, so E dots were in Mason's lights, like rudimentary, like the basic of all basic lights. Okay, it was the bulb, the prongs, a little switch, in the two batteries in a plastic case, and they had one called the E dot. And what was so popular about this particular case was that it was so goddamn bright. Like the entire case lit up as well. So I mean, like, this thing was super bright. It made it look like you had like giant phalanges of light, moving around. And
cool.
So and the funny thing is like the bulb was on the outside, but since there was like no circuit board, there was no button or anything, the casing was able to illuminate. And that's something that like me and my younger brothers always talked about. Like, man, I kind of wish we were able to kind of emulate that effect again, because what him and I like to do is have our pinkies and our thumbs underneath, not on top. So when we're like this, our entire hands would glow, especially when it was the E dots. Holy freaking crap. He went like this with his E dots. All of this was illuminated. All of it. It was just like a big blue illumination. And so when Joe showed me the glow skins, that was like my first thought. I'm like, holy crap, somebody figured out how to do the E dots again. Like, we're able to do the E dots, people. Like,
dude, yeah.
School is canceled. Shut down the streets. Like, it's finally happening.
Oh man, yeah, dude. I'm glad I was able to do it. Like, it was for sure one of the more challenging things, but man, totally worth it. Like, everyone really seems to like them. Like, makes me so happy.
Well, here's the thing, as I also want to say, is that, yes, diffusers is a market that people get into, and there have been people in that market for quite some time now, and people are kind of surprised when I explained to them. I was like, yeah, no, people have been doing diffusers like custom made since like 2015, and they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I remember seeing the claw diffusers first show up around like 2015. So,
Oh yeah.
You know, so diffusers is not any like you're not breaking any new ground. You broke new ground with casings because for some reason no one ever thought about doing casings. They were like third-party custom casings type deal, and I think that's where you have actually kind of like broken new ground and make people realize, oh, we can actually do this. We don't actually have to rely on the companies to make the casings for us. We can actually just make our own. So that's where I think that's why glowskins kind of exploded in the community.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I've actually, you know, now thinking about it, I've never heard of any other company making third-party casings either. Gosh. Yeah, dude. I'm glad I could I could help with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like there's people out there that, like they'll get like regular company casings like Elite casings, and then they'll like custom modify them like with paints and what all to like make them glow differently and what all. Yeah, but you're not actually making your own custom, and that's where I think glowskins really kind of broke out, is where people are like, holy crap, you can actually make your own casings and things look way more different, and it actually brings more of a personalization to it. So I guess the next big question is a lot of people want to know is like what has been your process of like drafting up these different types of casings? Because I know like coffin casings, coin casings, nano casings, you know, those type of sizes, like that was kind of a thing. But have you thought of like different shapes of casings that like the diffusers kind of like take on a different shape at the end, or anything like that? Like what's the process that you have for brainstorming? I guess is what a lot of people want to know.
Yeah, totally. So, you know, I actually did have someone suggest that about like creating a different shape at the end to like kind of, yeah, not only is it like shaped to the chip itself, but also could have an interesting shape at the end, which I haven't actually tried it yet. It would be very interesting to see how that would work. And I'm like, cause I that's what I told him is that, how like the effect works, I think works well when there is the same amount of material, or like the same thickness of material. Like I'm curious if you put something too thick or dense at the end, if it would absorb too much light. I don't know. But I haven't really tried it yet. That's kind of my concern initially. But I'm like, there's like no rules for me. I'm down to try it. Like if I can find the time, I'm totally down.
Okay, so you pretty much like if somebody gives you like a kind of a concept draft, and you kind of just like experiment and see like, is there a way to actually make this practical to make?
Yeah.
So have you tried like looking into like just light refraction, just seeing how to refract light differently through solid material like that?
Like the actual physics of it, not really. But I do on all my glow skins. I actually did add like a slight, like 1 more millimeter thickness in the front. And it was mostly actually for utilitarian reasons, like because it was like not filling. It was like there was like little holes that would form because of it was just like the manufacturing process. So I made it a little thicker there, which added like a kind of I feel like it adds like a cool little diffusion effect to the top. But that is something to look into. I'll for sure write that down though. See, like, cause what do you know anything about it? Like, are you like?
So I immediately was thinking like I was talking to Joe about this as well, and he was just like, maybe you should tell him about it. So there were certain ideas I had in my head. So it all really depends on how you like manufacture it. But I was thinking like in terms of diffusers, like if you manufacture it that the inside of the diffusers was like structured in a way where it wasn't solid, it was actually hollow, but you had like parts in there that angled at certain points, and it helped like reflect the light in certain ways. So like certain parts would be much brighter and other parts would be a little bit dimmer, so like you get like this really cool chromatic effect, and you kind of like seeing shapes within a shape. But those are just kind of like the ideas I've had when it came to like refracting light.
Yeah, I totally see what you're talking about. So this is actually this is actually kind of the reason why, or actually how the diffuser caps came about actually, was for thinking about it in sort of that way, I guess. where like, because without the glove around the diffuser, without the glove around anything, like you would be able to see those effects, I think, really well, what you're talking about. But the glove actually muddles a lot of what you would see, I think. Like if I did add like little pieces like that, because it would look cool like without the glove, but I think the glove diffuses it to a point where you can't really see those effects. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, because that's why when I explain to people why I like blackout casings so much is because when you have the diffuser and a clear casing on and you have it in the glove, it gets washed into one solid form. You detract away from the shape of your diffuser. That's why I like my cube diffuser so much. I love that shape so much because my friend had a BlackBerry, and when he would move his camera around, or not his camera, his screen around at night, you get these big boxy trail effects, and it was very similar to so it was very similar to like DOP type effects. Like they were very tight knit. But ever since I saw that and then saw cube diffusers come out, I've always wanted cube diffusers for that effect. That was my thing. I love that effect. But I learned that clear casings really detract from that shape because of what the glove does. It really does washes it all into one solid form. Even with the
Many months later.
What's the gloves? The slims, the tight slims. You know, the magic stretch gloves, as sometimes they were called. Yeah, they even with that, and because they're really, really tight, like they really should pronounce the shape of your lights and stuff like that. Even then, it still kind of washes it out. So I always tell people, like, this is why I always want blackout casings. It's because I don't want my diffuser's shape to be detracted from. That's why I like popcorn diffusers with blackouts. Really difficult to use. I don't really like using popcorn diffusers. If they were squishier, maybe. I was actually going to ask you if you actually took that into consideration in making like squishy popcorn diffusers.
Yeah, you know, I haven't actually worked with any other materials for my diffusers yet, but it would be super interesting, like, to try. The squishy material does add a lot. That does add a lot of extra like post processing work that kind of that's why my the glow skins orders takes like quite a bit longer than my diffuser orders, just because I want them to be like really great. And if I like printed them too fast or like made them too fast, it would, like, I don't know, I think it would detract from them. But yeah, it's just the manufacturing process.
Yeah, I was definitely going to ask you, or is this kind of like custom to order, like you make them per order type deal, or do you actually have like a what's the word I'm looking for? Assembly line process right now that you can actually like mass produce?
Yeah, gosh, I wish that I had a way to produce faster, but yeah, no, I'm just producing like order by order as it comes in, which it's like what I think what's like a really great part of being like of glow LEDs is that I can innovate like super often and fast, and without worrying about whether that innovation is not going to work out or not. Like I can because I'll just print one set, take pictures of it, put it online, and then like nobody buys it. I didn't have to spend any extra money, you know. That's what I think I really like. But then things can take longer if like I get like a bunch of orders for people, then I have to still like make them one at a time. But I don't know. It's a process.
Oh no, I totally get it. That's where I was, because like even like somebody as like Futuristic Lights, as well known as they are within the community, they're still a very small company. You know, they don't have kind of a backing like Amazing Lights had since 2015. When was?
Gosh, yeah,
when was that Shark Tank episode?
Oh gosh. Well, yeah, when it got really big like that.
It was 2015. Was it 2015? I'm pretty sure it's 20.
I feel like it was, yeah. I feel like it was somewhere after that. I don't think it was right when I started, which was like, roughly 2014. But yeah, Shark Tank.
Of course, I have left all my alarms and everything on. Oh my god, I am okay. So moral of the story, my listeners and viewers, please do not work overnight. Do not take a 4-hour nap and then try to do an interview with somebody afterward.
Welcome to my wife.
Oh god.
It's just because this week I just realized, oh wait, Thanksgiving's tomorrow and all this stuff. So I'm like, okay, I gotta cram a lot of stuff into a day. That's good. It's all good. I'm okay with it.
I'm right there with you.
Are you sure about that?
I stayed up super late working on things too.
Oh yeah, no, trust me, it's all in good fun though. That's why I love doing this. So
yeah, totally.
So is there any particular like brainstorming ideas that you are willing to kind of divulge? Because I know there's some things people want to like keep secret, but if there's anything you would like to divulge for my listeners, is like, hey, here's an idea that I've been thinking about. If you guys are interested, please let me know. Type deal. You know what I mean?
Okay, let's see. Gosh, I have so many things I want to come out with. It's actually like not enough time in the day. Let's see, with diffusers. Gosh, what do I tell you? Well, I will say that the glow strings like that I have out are about to get like a lot crazier. Like I'm putting a lot of work into them because there's like not much customization currently with them, which I totally get like why people want to be able to choose things about them. So that's coming soon.
All right then, keep your secrets.
Because I really like, I don't know, I feel like people just don't even really know that these type of lights exist, and I don't know, I really want to bring them to people's hearts.
Yeah, no, I totally get that, because that's one of the things I really felt like was just kind of devoid within the community. It's just like a third-party casing diffuser market. Not as much as diffusers, because people have been making their own, but actually seeing casings becoming an actual thing again was like, all right, here we go. Now we really going to. The one thing I know a lot of people were kind of concerned about was like, oh, are we going to just see a bunch of people try to flood the market with these, kind of knockoff things? No, because not everybody is a not everybody's an engineer in the gloving community. Like, come on, guys.
Right. Oh yeah, no. I wish I was. Maybe it'd be a lot easier doing all this, but oh yeah, actually, when I was saying, I meant so there's glow skins, and that's the casings, but then there's the glow strings, which is the string lights that Glow LED sells. So they're like the individually addressable LEDs that they can be all different colors, and I like make the animations for them and wire them up and everything. So that's the thing that I was talking about. Yeah, they're like string lights, so like kind of like, I don't want to say Christmas lights because they're like 1,000% better, but they're basically like little OSMs on each light, but without the accelerometer. And so I program like these 50 strips and 100 strips and 150 strips. I can make it as big as somebody wants, but yeah, I actually program the animations on them, and yeah, I'm working on making those more custom for people to do whatever they want with.
Yeah, I actually really wish there would be some people like trying to experiment with programming LEDs in that fashion, because I know, like, for me, as somebody who's taken a lot of interest in like just light physics and anatomy.
75 years later.
Whatever science term fits in here about the study of light, whatever. Spectrometry, I don't know.
That was so terrible, I think you gave me cancer!
I've always been like wanting people to try to experiment with like a 6-diode setup where you actually have the 3 primary colors and then the 3 secondary colors to see if we can actually get better saturation of colors with the color blending. I haven't seen that happen, so hopefully, somebody tries.
That would be interesting, because like, I guess it would just like add to the fullness and the brightness of the color.
Yeah,
that would be very interesting. But yeah, I don't know, like I'm like more of like the second step after that, where I like take the thing that's made and program it to like to do the flashing. I'm like, I really want, because like I feel like there's really not much string lights on the market that are like actually like geared towards like ravers. Like I feel like, and which of course it makes sense, from a business size. You want everyone to be able to get your lights, but like like I don't know. I always just feel like those modes like aren't party enough for me. Like I want something that like I want to get a light show. Like I want like these things to give me like a light show, like someone's gonna give one with their hands.
right.
And so like I want to be like a show, like rave, like stage lighting. So that's like kind of what makes mine different than I think other people's string lights that are on the market.
Right. So do you actually like manufacture like sound reactive ones as well? Because I know.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, I have a couple of sound reactive lights. Like I have the one that shoots the whole like grid thing, the green and red lights, and it like spreads in. It's kaleidoscopic and all that stuff. And then I have my DJ light that spins around, and it just kind of like this light. And everyone's like, "Are those sound reactive?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh my god, I wish I had lights like that." So I was wondering if you, I know you can actually just like solder on a microphone little board thing on the end of it to make it sound reactive, but I was just curious if that's something you have been considering going into, since a lot of glovers have been kind of asking me where to find sound reactive equipment for some reason.
Oh yeah, no, that's for sure on the list of I want to add all the features to this thing. Like it's it's a process. Like I'm not an engineer, so I'm like learning everything as I go. But I have like a coding background, so it like helps with that aspect. But like the hardware side is for sure like pulling teeth a little bit, but totally worth it. Like they look so cool.
I was gonna say, hey, I've been learning how to video edit and trying to streamline the process of video editing for the past couple months now, and it's been a journey for myself. Like holy crap.
A wonderful ride. Oh yeah, dude, video editing is. I'm starting to finally like get my like. I used to just like make like documentary style videos with like no effects, but now for my promo videos, I've been trying to like add more effects and like make them more like hard hitting and stuff. And video editing is it's like really rewarding, but like so much work.
it really is, but at the same time, I kind of get those creative freedoms I get to have, and I hope like in the future maybe I'll find an editor who will have the same kind of humor and personality as me on video, who will do the editing for me. But
oh yeah, that'll be nice for sure. Yeah, for sure.
But no, so for a few other questions, what was your favorite time period of gloving for you? Like, what was your big highest moments for you, or is right now your biggest highest moment?
Yeah, gosh, I would say like as like being, I feel like I'm actually the most a part of the gloving community than I've ever been. Like I've always never like, I really loved going to like kickbacks and I love gloving with people. But I don't know. I always I never had like I always had like a small friend group. I never like made like a ton of friends or anything. Like I meet people and I'd be cool, but I feel like now I really am a full part of the gloving community, which is really awesome. So I would say that I think now I'm like in like the prime level. Like I'm trying to like bring back like some things that are lost in the gloving community. So I'm hoping that this can be like a new, like you said, you said Renaissance. That's a really It's a really cool way to put it.
I will certainly say with the induction of just custom casings, my guy, like it to me it did bring on this kind of Renaissance-esque feel.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
At least for me, I've been doing this since February of 2010. I've been gloving for a very long time. I've seen the evolution of what gloving came from out of the rave scene. I remember when Sasha's Law came down the pipeline. I remember when EDCLA happened. Like I remember that whole thing, that shook the gloving community to its core. You know?
Oh wow! Yeah, you were there for all of it.
It was actually it's funny because people don't think it was a scary time for gloving. No, it actually was because people were just like, okay, yeah, that's kind of weird. And then Sasha's Law came down the pipeline. All of a sudden, people were a little bit more scrutinable, as I'm going to say delicately, about gloving. at least people around, people I had around were like okay with it at first, and then Sasha's Law happened, and then all of a sudden they were just like, oh, and just like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel that for sure.
So, what would be your favorite light that you ever had?
Oh man, I really love the OSMs. It was such a sad day because that's why I started learning how to program LEDs and things like that, because I loved the full I wanted full customability. I don't want I don't know, I want to be able to do anything with it, and that's why I loved about the OSMs, even though I wasn't even really coding them. There was that super awesome dude that made the program that you could program them with, or the desktop software Vector. I'm he really did God's work out there. I'm trying to be as cool as him. That was so awesome. But yeah,
have you ever played around with the Spectres before?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I actually do have the Spectras, and they're cool. They're not as good. They just don't there's just some things that are missing that the OSMs had. Just pretty much about as simple as that.
I heard that. I wish I didn't hear that, but I just heard that.
So did you have the 1 or did you have the 2?
I had OSM 1s or OSM 2s, I had the OSM 2s.
They had the accelerometer in them, right?
Yeah. Oh, so they didn't even have. Okay. Yeah. The accelerometers in the OSM 2s were fire. They had 3 levels, and they blend so nicely between them. The Spectres, they whenever you go into a new speed, they actually reset from the mode that if your colors are going from red, green, blue, and you change to the higher speed mode and go back, it'll just go back to red again. It won't continue with the color modes. I don't even really understand how the OSM guy did that, but it just doesn't have that perfect, it doesn't continue with the modes. I don't know, it's just so fluid. I really loved how he did that.
Yeah, I remember when the OSMs came out, and I remember that whole debacle.
Yeah, that was quite the debacle.
That's one of those kind of topics that I've been kind of hesitant to talk about on my podcast, because it's talking about company drama, and
yeah, I don't really care to talk about it either.
I was like, do really people care about that? Some people do. People really want to learn that kind of history, but it's just I don't know.
Yeah, no, totally. They can go on Reddit to get that information, but
I was just gonna say, all you have to do is just go on GL and look around the time of 2015 when it was all happening.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no,
I was just gonna say, but that aside, I do remember a lot of people. There was a lot of talk about the OSMs as a light itself, not everything surrounding it. Yes, there was a lot of talk about the stuff surrounding it, but the light themselves, a lot of people who are more computer coders were much more aligned to the OSM than people with the Spectres, because yes, the Spectres, the app kind of as the OSM elitists, some people call them. I don't call them that. Some people call them that, as someone would say, the Spectre app is a monkey brain version of what the OSMs were able to do.
How dare you!
And I actually remember taking a look at the programming software for the OSMs, Vector, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, it's just like, yeah, I can see where they come from on that. And it's just...
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like, if you have like a good secondary knowledge about computer programming and computer coding, you can look at Vector and be like, oh yeah, I can pick up on this really easily. Here's the thing. Vector came with a tutorial, and some people were just not up for that.
Oh yeah, no, he made it as easy as he could possibly have made it for everybody. Like, he's such mad props for that guy. Like, I have looked at all the source code for, I don't even think, like, I'm not super crazy. I've only been like coding like web design like for like not even a year yet. But like I don't think it would take me a while to get to what he made. Like it's and the integration like with Arduino is like what makes it so amazing. Like that he had live editing like it can actually, like, when it's plugged in, you can see what mode you're on right there, and it can, like, you can, whatever, live view, yeah, you can view what your mode is on the light, like, as you're doing it on the computer, with, like, via the serial port, and that's just, like, so amazing, like, that's really is, like, OSMs, like, I was gonna give you some secrets for the future of glow LEDs, like, that's the goals, like, something, like, you know, not necessarily, like, the OSM make the exact same thing, but, like, that amount of customability and, like, beautifulness of that.
Well, I was just gonna say, have you ever thought of interchangeable parts for your casings and diffusers?
Ooh, yeah, oh yeah, totally. Like, kind of, yeah, like, oh yeah, yeah. People have suggested things like that.
I don't know if you saw the Stardust casings and the Stardust diffusers, how they together.
Yeah, I have seen them. Those are pretty cool. I do. There has been some suggestions. Do I want to tell you guys this?
Yes! Yes!
You don't have to.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, no. There has been some talk about things like that. I'm for sure, like, you know, if I could, yeah, another thing I could, you know, let anybody know out there that's listening that I am down for any suggestion, no matter how big or small. Or how little, like, the change could be. Like, I am here to make the best of the best stuff, like for the community. Like, if somebody thinks something could be better, like, there's no point in me keeping it the same way. Like, if everyone thinks it could be better, you know?
Okay.
I definitely agree. It's, to me, the way I look at it is, as somebody who's just freelancing at this point with it, it's kind of like Rolls Royce, where they kind of they made their cars per order, per customer type deal. You know what I mean? And they were always all custom made. Granted, there's a long history about Rolls Royce and how the owners were, but yeah, their vehicles were custom made per customer. So there wasn't like a assembly line process for Rolls Royce. And that's where I look at it when it came to glow skins. It's like, yeah, he can pretty much just, like, if you have this idea of how to go about it. I have to give you props, though, with the whole casing and diffuser combo thing, because I've always sat there and just reminisce about the E-dots, and then when Joe shows me this, I'm just like, oh my god, E-dot flashbacks, I want my hands on these.
2,000 years later.
Oh man, yeah, dude. I actually want to see what you're talking about. I've never actually seen those before. So if you have a video, you should for sure send it to me.
I was going to say, I believe Amazing Light still has it up on their YouTube. I will link it in this episode's description. So if my listeners are also looking for that, it will be linked in this episode's description as well. So don't worry about that. I always try to source the videos best I can. Like,
cool.
It was funny too because I was trying, like, half the videos I was trying to look for my research I have downloaded onto my computer, but I can't find them on YouTube. Like, there's a Vision Quest video that I couldn't find for my phasing episode, and I'm like, oh, here, let me just link it, and I couldn't find it, so I just put it, and I was like, removed from YouTube for some reason.
Yeah, just found out about that. There's like tons of like gloving videos, like really good gloving videos that have been like taken off. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's what's been making it really difficult to do a lot of my research, because like I have the videos like downloaded onto my computer, because back in the day when BlackBerry was a thing, it didn't let me watch videos on it. It downloaded videos and then let me watch them on the computer. So I downloaded.
Oh wow.
I downloaded a lot of Lightshow videos from Facebook. In the early
Wow, that's
days.
good. Cause yeah, dude, you might have the supply. I'm like curious, like who has all these videos that are like gone? Cause like we should like make a drive or something like that, you know, so that like people can find them or something.
Oh, definitely. I can still remember to this day like so many Lightshow videos I wish I saved or like liked or put on a playlist throughout my career on YouTube, because that would have been nice, because I would have been like, oh yeah, let me just look through my archive. But I have friends.
Right.
I have friends who actually do have playlists, and like half of the videos they had saved are gone.
Oh yeah, man.
Just like removed by user, and I'm just like, no. Yeah.
No. They're like, I'm trying to grow up. I don't want to. You'll never grow up.
Right, that's how I always felt. Alright, so I guess for the last question for the day, before I ask you how everyone can reach you, is what's your most memorable gloving moment?
Well, you know, gosh, let's see. The one that I was thinking of was when I was at Something Wicked, and I like lost my friends, and I like, God, who was playing?
Don't most gloving stories start out that way? So I
I
went to
know.
this festival, or I went to this venue, and I lost my friends. So I was wandering
Yeah.
around the venue.
Literally. I know. So I was like, also kind of like, I don't know, just wasn't having like a good time at that moment. And I was like, I don't know. Okay, Keys and Crates, they're sounding cool. Like, cause the other ones are like, I don't know, they just were kind of a little too harsh for me at that moment. And so I like walked over there, and I'm like, okay, let's just try to relax. And I just saw Gloveson just chilling, like just hanging out, gloving. He wasn't really giving anyone a light show, and that's actually when I met him for the first time. And we like just hung out. He was like super good vibes, totally like made me feel so much better. And we like ended up, which I don't know, I don't think this is true, but this is like the first time like, or like I showed anybody what me and my friend were doing, which was like asymmetrical doubles light shows, where you would kind of sit next to each other instead of one behind each other. And you would do like, yeah, doubles, but like asymmetrically, instead of it being like you're doing like mirroring your hands on each side.
I always call that tandem doubles, and it's weird because people always look at me weirdly. I'm like, no, think about like tandem bicycles. You're next to each other, you know.
Yeah. That makes sense. So we were doing that, and then like we just got this huge crowd of people. Like I don't even remember, but he even to this day says that was the biggest crowd of people that he's ever pulled with gloves. And so that was, I don't know, really a momentous moment, from being in like a kind of a bad place for a second and being like, oh, like I'm not really having that good of a time, and then to just come out with this like doubles light shows with this huge crowd of people like at like the base stage. And I don't know, that was a really fun moment for me.
Yeah, I've had plenty of moments like that where just crowds of people show up. I've had like random doubles and a couple of triples like that. For me, like I will even tell people like my most memorable moment is I went to this regular bar venue place that I went every Wednesday night, and every first Friday of the month they had this thing called Electric Kingdom. It's just a rave, basically. It's a monthly rave. And there was like this really big dude who like, oh my god, this guy was so intimidating. He notices me like loving, and he's just like, it kind of like weirded him out, and he was kind of like not hostile, but just kind of like
one eternity later.
Like think of like a cat just being like, what the hell is that type deal, and like moving away from it. But he would like watch me out throughout the entire night, and then like close doors in the night, he like finally gives in. He's like, okay, I want one. And so I don't know what it was. It was like the stars aligned, like the music, everything just fell into place perfectly. And I gave like what I would probably consider one of my best light shows ever. And,
wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
at the end of the show, the guy is like sitting there with like tears streaming down his face, and he just goes like this, and he's like, "Holy crap! I can't believe I'm actually crying. This is weird. I've never seen anything like that before." And it's just like, it's okay. So am I. And it was like literally like this moment where we like shared like this level of just, I don't know, this moment of unity where it's just like we're on the perfect wavelength. And the next thing I know, this dude just goes like this and just puts his arms under mine, just like grabs me in a bear hug, and I'm just...
We don't need to hear about that, thank you.
Like, I mean, this dude was huge. Like, I'm talking like Brian Shaw, like 6'8", 400 pounds, massive chunky dude.
Stop talking, go to jail. I know you're a little slut.
His bear hug days, like, I have never experienced anything like that before, and I'm so glad you were able to give me one. And it's like, yeah, that was a big moment for me.
Make it stop! Make it stop!
Dude, yeah, no, I love it. That's why, that's why you keep doing it, because just those moments, and they happen like so more often than you think too. like it's like, because every moment you're sharing with that single person, you're like really like you're in a new like dimension with them. Like everything is like almost like quiet around you in a way, like you're just together. I don't know. Yeah, I really love it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely agree. It's one of those things I really hope, with like, since Jess wrote a book, I hope there's somebody out there that's like wanting to do a collection of memoirs from Glovers around the country and around the world, really, because we got a lot of Australians that hang out in worldwide Glovers that, man, I swear to God, if we ever get in-person competitions happen again and we get like another big like 4KC IGC level competition and the Australians come over, America, you're not gonna know what's gonna happen. You're not gonna know. You're just gonna be destroyed.
Dude, that's gonna be sick. Yeah, funny thing about Australians, I've actually had a few orders from Australia to Glovers to Glow LEDs, so shout out to Australia.
Right? I know, we love our Australian Glovers. They're amazing.
That was so terrible, I think you gave me cancer!
Yeah, they are.
So you is there any other places that anyone can hit you up at that they can find you, or is there any social media that you want them to follow you on? I'm sure the more business that you get in, the more traffic you get, the better it's gonna be for you.
Yeah, totally. So like I have Instagram and Facebook. My Instagram is glow_LEDs, and the Facebook is Glow LEDs Official, all lowercase, like all connected. And my YouTube, I think is, let's see, what is it called? I think it's just Glow LEDs. You just type in Glow LEDs, which this is where I post all my Wednesday night spotlights, all my promo videos, like, so you'll be able to see pretty much all the products that I have at the moment and like all the cool stuff people are able to do with them. Yeah, I don't even really know how to get people to go to YouTube, because like on Facebook they like want you to make Facebook videos, and like they give the higher priority to. So, but yeah, so it'd be cool to get a lot of YouTube subscribers. That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm slowly building as well, and I know I got friends who are starting to share my stuff on Twitter, so I'm starting to get a lot more Twitter traffic, which is good. I'm not on Twitter myself, and I don't know if I still debating on that. If my listeners want me on Twitter that badly, you gotta let me know. I can't read your minds.
Right? Yeah. No, I don't know. You should have them let me know too if I should be on Twitter, because I don't know. Yeah, just a wild west over there.
To me it's a scary place with scary people doing scary things. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, and you know what the opposite place is? I think TikTok is the opposite of that, which is like really nice people doing really nice things. Nice things, yeah. Or I guess depends on what TikTok you're on, of course, but that's how it goes with algorithms.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I will definitely have all of your information linked in the episode description as well, so that way all my listeners can find your social media and follow you on there. And is there anything else you want to say before we kind of head out?
Oh man, I guess, yeah, thanks everyone that like has been helping me out, like with like just suggestions and I don't know, just I love the communication and like community. Like I love that everyone's like helping with like ideas and stuff. Like just keep them coming. Like I'm down for whatever. I have no rules. Like and like yeah, and also like yeah, no one, don't be afraid to ask me to like I want to feature like anybody. Like you guys can yeah, for my Wednesday features, like I it doesn't matter how good you are gloving, like as long as you like, of course, just like with something that you bought from LEDs, of course. But like, yeah, like I love seeing you guys light shows with my products at me. It's really warms my heart.
Is there a special hashtag or anything like that anyone should do that way you can find their videos so that you can actually do that for a feature Wednesday?
Yeah, you know, I guess yeah, just tag glow LEDs in it. Like usually some of my friends, like usually on Glover's Lounge, my friends tag me in it, and then I just like usually just hit those people up. But yeah, like you can, I actually have a featured Glover submission form on my website where you could just even like do that without even contacting me. You could just like input your information, like, and send your light show to me, and I'll totally post it in one of the coming up Wednesdays.
Nice, very nice. So I hope everybody, get down into the description section and start clicking on those links, because that's where they're all going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will also certainly say, if you guys also have any suggestions, if you guys think he should do any Kickstarters to like kickstart funding any certain projects that you guys would like to see from him, I would definitely. It would behoove you to speak your mind and let him know that. But Kurt, I'm so glad that I had you on. I'm so excited to see what you come up with in the future, and I really hope that this is a precursor to things to come, as a tides lift all ships type thing. Where we actually get more people who are experimenting with making cases and diffusers, and actually experimenting with gloving accessories, I guess is the word we're going to be calling those.
Yeah.
Yes, the gloving accessory market, I think that's actually what we should be calling it, because that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's a perfect way to say it.
Yeah. But I will definitely hope to hear back from you soon on that, my guy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Like, it was a really fun time, talking to you about all this stuff. Like, I really love talking about everything I'm doing. It's like I'm kind of like I'm actually a lot better now than I was. I used to be very, very hermit-like, where I would just switch. Which was good, in the beginning, so I could like learn a bunch of stuff. Not talking to people that much is not that good for you. So I don't know. So now I'm like love talking about it, because I'm like, I've just been working on this stuff all this whole time. Like I just want to show you everything,
Oh yeah, definitely. I will certainly say to a lot of my listeners, if you're not paying attention to this guy and what he's coming out with, you need to like start following his stuff so you guys can keep tracks on that. Do you by chance have any sponsored glovers that have like discount codes or anything like that, just in case? That was something that just popped in my head.
Yeah, totally. We have 3 sponsored glovers right now. One of them is Joe Cosmo, and his promo code is Cosmo. We have Gion, which is his Flowson, which it's like FLOWSONN, I'm pretty sure. And then Keith Boer, his is Keith, KEIF. You can use all those, not all at the same time, but you can use those for 10% off at Glow LEDs. And and also check out their shows. They're actually, all 3 of them are on the Glow Skins pages, and they're featured glovers too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I have their discount codes flashing on the screen right now, so people can see it and be like, use this, people. They're a reason why they're there. Support your local glovers. Support your local company.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I keep track of how many times they get used for each person too. So. Yeah,
definitely.
For the peeps.
Yep, and I think that will conclude this episode too. Thank you guys. Well, I hope you guys did enjoy the lovely little episode. I do I do think this was a lot of fun. This actually was a lot of fun for me to do, and I really hope that I can get Kurt back on here so we can actually talk about more of the products that he's working on and more of the ideas. There's just a lot that this person is doing, and I hope that what he is doing is, you know, a precursor to a rising tides raise all ships scenario where we actually get a lot more people doing this kind of stuff.
Whatever you say, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't know why I just said that. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but gotta stand by it.
Should we bail?
Works for me.
Wait!
So, if you need to find any of his information, you'll see right here on the screen, and then you'll find all that stuff down in the description below. You'll find all the discount codes, all that stuff down there.
Oh, thanks, man.
You know, you pretty much have your picking when it comes to your discount codes and what all. But of course, you guys know where to hit me up at. You'll also find out where you can hit him up at when you want to ask him any questions. You do have that. But you also have any outlets that you can hit me up at if you want me to ask him any questions that you feel like you want to have asked. That way I can ask him next time we have him on the show. So, you guys know where my social media is. Support me on Patreon, blah, 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 blah. This is pretty much the last episode for the year. Yes, I'm going to take the rest of the year off. I'm going to enjoy the holiday season for myself, along with my husband, while also brainstorming some ideas for the next year.
Say what?
So, if you guys have any of those ideas that you guys want me to cover in the next year, that would be awesome to hear. Do not hesitate to let me know in the various places. So, thank you to everybody who has supported the show so far. Thank you so much for watching / listening. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Yes, I did not do a whole lot of work in terms of editing. I did a couple cuts here and there just so I can clean it up a bit. But that's pretty much it. I didn't want to do much more work on that. So, I hope you guys enjoy yourself. I absolutely love you guys. But I am your host, Peter, aka LPD8 the Puke. And I'll see you guys all next year. I made this for you!